Talk to me about how you discovered pro wrestling and when did you fall in love with it and know that this is what the fuck I want to do.
So I'm going to start this off by saying that my mother is the reason, like, my mother made me a deathmatch wrestler. And I'll explain it here in a second. But my mother was an Italian mother, with a single Italian mother. And I was the middle child, set up for me to be who I am today. I remember we would have a ton of chores. Like, that's back before internet. We lived out in the middle of the sticks. My school was like 15 minutes into town, and everybody on the bus, because we had no neighbors and shit. We all had to walk up this 3-mile hill just to get to the bus stop to go to school. And if you missed that bus stop, my mom would beat my ass on the way to school. But we had one television show, like one thing we could watch on the weekends if we did our chores throughout the whole week, if our homeworks were done, if we did the chores on the weekends, and that would always be on Sunday morning. And where I lived, Sunday morning, wrestling would come on the TV. And I believe it was UWA at the time, and then we would get little things of like OVW. But I would always choose to watch the wrestling show. Now, mind you, I was born in 84, so this would be about 89, 90 area, and then they're on. But the first time I realized I wanted to wrestle was, like I said, I Miss Jackie in downtown Bruno. I went to the Louisville Gardens, and I was sitting in the crowd. There was 2 events that happened that night that set the course for my path. And the first one was I saw, Miss Jackie making her way to the ring. And I never watched her on television. The shows that I got didn't have her on the television. She was somewhere else at the time, I guess. But she made her way down to the ring and was cutting a promo in the ring talking about how this person's piece, like just the scum of the earth and da-da-da, like calling this person out. And I remember looking at the curtain and seeing downtown Bruno come out through the curtain. He had the greatest the heel promos. Like I couldn't stand him as a kid. And he come down and he gets in her face and starts talking shit to her, and he says something, and all out of nowhere, she just fucking slapped the taste out of his mouth. And I remember that was the moment I was like, oh my God, how do I do this? I've never, damn, okay, she just whooped his ass. And he gave it back to her too. But at the end of the match, I was like, holy shit. I felt like, I don't know how I'm supposed to get into this, but I feel like this is a very big part of my path. And then the second thing that happened in that show was PG-13, which was Jamie Dundee and Wolfie D. PG-13 used to come out and pull people up with them to do the dance that they would do, right?
Right.
And they fucking picked my sister over me. And I held on to that for years. And I was upset and hurt. And I told Jamie Dundee, and he's like, oh, damn, man, I'm sorry, man. I would have picked you if I would have known. And I was like, oh, that's cool now. But those are the 2 things I was like, damn, this is what I want to do.